Morning 5K. So before we start math today, I just wanted to say happy birthday to Amir. Yesterday was his birthday. He turned 6 and he was on Look Who's 6 on Fox 6 News. So happy birthday, Amir. Today, before I show you what we're going to be doing, I want to tell you a little bit about it. So, well, you can kind of see. If we would have been at school, we would have been every morning for math meeting talking about what the morning felt like when we came to school, what it felt like outside. And most of the mornings when you would have come in, when we would have done math meeting, you would have said it probably felt cold outside. But if you remember all the way back to the beginning of the year when you came to school, it didn't feel cold in the morning. Maybe you would have said, oh, Mrs. Birch, this morning it felt hot outside. So we're going to talk about those things, those words. What does it mean if it feels cold outside? How do you know if it's cold? Well, I know that it's cold when I see you come to school and you are wearing a winter coat, hats, gloves, mittens, boots. I know it's hot outside when you do not come in a coat and you have short sleeves or shorts and a skirt on. That's how I know it's hot outside. There are two other words that we're going to use to talk about today, and those are the words warm and cool. So if something's warm, that means it's not quite hot, right? So if it's warm outside, maybe you don't need a coat, but you wouldn't maybe be in shorts. Maybe you'd have on pants and a t-shirt. Because it's warm, it's not hot. And if you wore shorts, you might be a little cold. And if something is cool, that means it's not completely cold yet. Like when you come to school and you just have a light jacket on, it's not really cold out. Your fingers aren't freezing, your ears aren't hurting. You don't need a hat, but it's cool out. And something that we use to tell if something is cold, cool, warm, or hot is a thermometer. And so here I have a thermometer. Now, I'm going to bring this really close to the camera, and what I want you to look at is there is red liquid in here. You see it down here at the bottom, and it goes all the way up. And it stops at the number, and that number tells us if something is cold, cool, warm, or hot. So this is the temperature of my house, and I will show you how to read this. So I'm going to bring this close. Hopefully you see the red liquid down here, and it goes up, 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 up. Oh, what number do you see here? 0. Then you see the number 20. Okay, so this little, here we go, 0. And then you see the number 20. So this little dot right in here, this bigger one, that would be 10, 20, 30, 40. This line is 50, 60, and this line would be 70. And then you see 80. My house is not at 80 degrees. 60, and then right here, 70. My house is at 70 degrees. That's where the red line stops. If the red line was up here to 80, my house would be hot. My house is not hot. My house is warm. So if the red liquid was way down here at a lower number, that would mean my house would be cold. So the bigger, the higher the number, the hotter something is, the smaller the number, the cooler or colder something is. So my house is at 70 degrees. I want you to remember that, okay? So we're going to use that in a little bit. Actually, let's just do that now. What I would like you to do is I'm going to put this down. I have to turn you. This is the joy of using a camera. I want you to find this worksheet. It's lesson 128A. So I'm going to give you a second to find that, lesson 128A. And you see a giant thermometer on here. We're not going to do anything with that yet. What we're going to do is this top box. It says temperature of our classroom. Well, we aren't at school, so we can't measure the temperature of our classroom or determine that, but I have the thermometer that has been sitting in my house, and we see that the temperature of my house, we'll just use my house, is at 70. All right, because we count by tens, 0, and then this big line here is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So what I want you to do is take your pencil, and in this top box it says temperature of our classroom. We'll pretend it says temperature of Mrs. Birch's house. We are going to write 7T, 7 and a cup of tea, a 7 and a 0. And then you see a little circle. That means degrees, and the F is Fahrenheit, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So my house is 70 degrees. Say 70 degrees. Awesome. Now, we're going to do this next box. It says temperature of water from our drinking fountain. Well, I don't have a drinking fountain at my house, but I do have a sink. So, what I did is I grabbed some water, and I want you to watch what happens to this red line when I put it in the glass of water. Now, I know this is really hard. If we were at school, you'd be able to see it super easily. I'm hoping that you can on the camera. So just watch so carefully this red line. So I don't have a drinking fountain, but I do have a glass of water that I grabbed. All right. So I want you to watch when I put this in, what happens to this red line. Are you ready? Here I go. Do you see it? It's happening to the red line. What's happening to it? Is it up at 70 anymore? It's going down. Yeah, it is. It's going very slowly. I guess my water was not very cold. But it is going down. All right, my loves, what I will do is let me go get really cold water, and you'll see it go down even more. So just hold on. I thought this would be cold enough. Hold on. All right, my sweets. Let's see if we can get it to go down even more. Okay, are you ready? Okay, I want you to watch. It is going down more. So it's definitely under 70. It's going down towards 60, right? What it is. There's water on it though now. Going down. All right. I guess my water in my house is not very chilly. It's just down to like 60. Each of these little dots is, we would count by twos, but now that it's wet, it's kind of hard to see, and it's hard to see on a camera, but it's down to about 68, so we would count by twos. So the temperature of the water from our drinking fountain, well, from Mrs. Birch's sink, is about 68 degrees. So that's kind of like warm. It's warm water. I didn't let it run to get super cold. So on your worksheet, I should have put like ice cubes in it and put it in the fridge, but then that wouldn't have really been true, right? For the temperature of my drinking water. So I wonder if our drinking fountain at school would have been cooler. I don't know. We're not there. 68 degrees. So we're going to write a 6 and an 8. 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Say 68 degrees. Now, I have one more thing to show you. I'm going to take this thermometer out of the glass of water. I'm going to dry it off with a napkin. And I have some water that I put in the microwave. If you put things in the microwave, what happens to it then? Yeah, it gets hot. So I have a cup of hot water. I want you to watch that red line and see what happens to it. Okay, I'm going to hold it here. I'm going to bring up the thing of water. I want you to watch it. Whoa, do you see that red line? Whoa. It went above what number? Right here, 100. So my cup of hot water right here. So sometimes I warm up water to make tea. This is almost 130 degrees because here's the 100, and then it'd be 110, 120, and then this big line right here would be 130. The big line that's between 20 and 40 is 30. This is almost 130 degrees. So this water is very hot. We would not want to stick our fingers in this. This is why I'm being very careful. I'm holding it very carefully. And you saw that thermometer rise from 68 all the way up to 120, almost 30. And when I take it out, it will start to cool off. And what do you look at? What's happening? It's going down again. Let me put it in the cool water. And you will see again that the temperature on the thermometer will drop because I'm going to be putting it into cool water. And look, the red liquid inside the thermometer, which tells us the number of degrees, drops right away. Awesome. Thermometers are a lot of fun and they're really cool to use. And that's what we use to know the temperature of outside. So when your mom says, oh, you need to put on a coat, it's like 30 degrees outside. Ooh, if it's 30, that means it's cold. If your mom says, you need to wear a light jacket because it's 50, well, then that would probably be cool, right? If it was 90 degrees outside, that would be hot. You got it. All right. What we are going to do is I want you to look back at your worksheet that you have sitting out. I hope you enjoyed watching the red liquid inside is called mercury. And so that tells us the temperature when we read it. We read where the red liquid stops and that tells us the temperature. Right now it's at like 72. What I would like you to do is look here. You see no red liquid here on the inside of our thermometer. We will do that in just a second. What I want you to do is look at this very top line where it says 100 degrees Fahrenheit. 100, that little circle means degrees Fahrenheit, and then there's the arrow pointing to it. Would 100 degrees be cold, cool, warm, or hot? Well, you just saw my hot cup of coffee reach over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So that would be hot. You got it. So we're going to write hot on this top little line. You hear the letter H. So you're going to write H, O, hot, T. That would be a hot, and then you know D-A-Y spells day. You know that from when we would sing the months or the days of the week song. All right, now let's go down here. If it's an 80-degree day, well, I still think 80's hot, but some people think that's not hot, that's just warm. So we are going to spell warm next to the 80 degrees Fahrenheit. W is the letter W. You have to make it little. They only give you a little space. So little w. It's okay if your letters have to go up on top. That's okay too. And then this word you can't sound out. The next two letters are A-R. You hear the R. War. Sounds like it should be O-R, but it's A-R. Warm. M. See, my M had to go on top of day. That's okay. Warm. So we have a hot day at 100 degrees Fahrenheit, a warm day at 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Mrs. Barch thinks that's hot too. I love 80 degrees, but I don't think it's warm. I'm sweating. Now, if we look down here at 60 degrees, that's like about what yesterday was at. So if you went outside, or not yesterday, 2 days ago, yesterday it was raining. If you went outside on Saturday, it was 60 degrees. What kind of day would that be? I went outside and I could not wear just short sleeves. I had to wear long sleeves. So that means it wasn't a warm day, it was Cool. So we're gonna write the word cool next to 60 degrees. You hear the letter C. You got it. Ooh, ooh. If you look at my mouth, ooh. It's the letter O, and not just one, but two. O makes the ooh sound, like school, cool, cool. L, you got it. All right, we have a hot day at 100 degrees Fahrenheit, a warm day at 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and a cool day at 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Now look way down here at 30. What type of day would that be? That's when snow falls from the sky. That's when rain freezes to ice and we call it snow. What kind of day this would be? This would be a cold day. We're gonna spell cold. C. O. You heard it. O. Cold. L. Cold. D. That would be a cold day. What we are going to do now is we're going to color the mercury on the inside, and we are going to go all the way up to a warm day, all the way up to 80, up to that line. So I want you to take out your red. I'll give you a second to find your red and take that out. All right, please watch me first. You do not color this whole thing. Look it. My thermometer here is not all colored red. It's just the very little inside. The rest of it here is yellow. Ours on our paper is white. So I am not gonna color way out here. No, I'm only coloring on the inside. So I start down here in the little red ball, this little ball down here on the inside. I'm gonna color that red. Please wait, just watch me. I need to stop up here at 80. So I'm gonna go where I need to stop up here by this little line, because that line right there says it's 80. So I'm gonna stop there. Okay, my thermometer counts by 10. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. And now watch, I just color on that inside tube because that's where the mercury is. That red stuff that we saw on the inside of our thermometer, that's on the inside of this one too. That's the liquid that goes up and down and tells us how warm or hot it is, or cold it is, or cool it is. So we're gonna go up to 80. I want you to do that. Look at how I have white on both sides. I don't get sloppy and color the whole thing. That's not what it looks like, just the inside. So I'm gonna give you a second. You're gonna color up to 80. And then stop. I'll give you time to do that because I asked you to watch me first. All right, if you need to pause me and finish coloring, you can do that. If you're done, I want you to turn to the next page. It looks like this. It's lesson 128B. I want you to turn to the next page. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at this thermometer over here on the left. It's shaded. Shaded means that it was colored with pencil, or the computer shaded it so it's gray. So in real life, this would be red. It's not because the computer made it, and so it's gray. We need to look at how cool or cold or warm or hot it is. We need to know how many degrees it is. So I want you to look, what number do you see the fluid stopping by? It would be red on ours, but here it's gray. What number do you see that stopping at? I want you to say it out loud. Yeah, 3 and a 0 is 30. Cup of tea. I want you to take your pencil, and up here at the top there's a blank because it wants you to write the number 30. A 3 and a 0. That is showing you 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Now underneath it says, what type, you know that word, of day is it? So if it's 30 degrees, is it a cold day? Is it a cool day? Is it a warm day? Or is it a hot day? Now remember, the bigger the number, the hotter. The smaller the number, the colder. So what kind of day would it be if it was 30 degrees outside? What do you think? Cold, cool, warm, or hot? That would be a cold day. You got it. You're going to circle cold. C-O-L-D. LD right here, cold. All right, now you need your red, because up here at the top it says what number? 100. We need to color the red mercury fluid, that liquid, all the way up to the number 100. Now, I'm gonna find 100. Here it is, 100. I'm gonna make a little line on the inside because I don't wanna just keep coloring and forget to stop. I need to stop there. And then I go down to the bottom and I color in that middle red circle. And I'm gonna color up, up, up until my red line where I stopped. All right, I'll give you time to finish. Look at, I didn't go outside of the lines. I have white all the way around it. It's just that inside that goes up to 100 degrees. Now, I bet you are already thinking and already know what kind of day it would be if it was 100 degrees outside. It says, what type, that means kind, of day is it? If it is 100 degrees Fahrenheit, is it cold, cool, warm, or hot? What kind of day is that? Yeah, you got it. That's a hot day. You need to circle H-O-T. Spells hot. Awesome, my sweets. All right, last thing that I would like you to do is turn to the next page, which is your lesson worksheet, 128A. And we are going to do numbers 3, 4, and 5 together. Okay, I'm going to scoot you back so that you can see here what we are doing. Let me move this. All right, can you see okay? Ish. All right. Let me scoot you back a little bit more. All right, my sweets. Number 3 says, how much money is this? Those are both what kind of coin? So the biggest ones we talked about last week, those are quarters. Do you remember how much a quarter was? A quarter was 25 cents. You got it. All right. So we need to count by 25s. Do you remember how that goes? Practice with me. It goes like this. 25, 50, 75, $1. Say it with me again. Ready, go. 25, 50, 75, $1. I'm counting to the number 4 because there's 4 quarters and $1. One more time. Ready, go. 25, 50, 75, $1. Awesome. Now, remember what I told you to do with your quarters. You write how much money it is underneath. So 1 quarter we said was 25. So we're gonna write 25 underneath, a 2 and a 5. 25, you got it, 50, a 5 and a 0, 25, 50. So it says, how much money is this? Well, it is 50 cents. So up here by number 3, at the little line, you write 50, a 5 and a 0 and the cent sign because we're talking money. 50. Awesome. Number 4 says, color the thermometer. This is a thermometer. This is a thermometer. Color the thermometer to show 30 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so grab your red. I'm gonna scoot you closer a little bit so you can see we need to go up to 30. So remember, you're gonna take your red. Here's 30. I'm gonna put a little line here because I don't wanna go above that. And I'm gonna start down here in the middle. And I'm gonna color all the way up the middle and stop when I get to that line I made at 30. It says 30 degrees. My red liquid cannot go above that. Otherwise, I'm showing a different temperature and I get it wrong. All right, coloring neatly, staying in the lines, stopping at 30. All right, when you're done with that, you need your pencil again. All right, now we're gonna do number 5. I'm gonna read it to you. We're gonna be writing on these 2 lines. It says, Maureen wrote a 2-digit number on a piece of paper. If a number has 2 digits, that means the number has 2 numbers in it. Like the number 10 has a 1 and a 0. Those are 2 numbers. All right, it says she gave the children these following clues to help them guess her secret number. Maureen said, the digits I used, the numbers she used, are 4 and 6. Write the 2 possible numbers. So if I put 4 and 6 together, I'm not adding. What 2 numbers can I make with those 2 numbers? Well, if I put the 4 first and then the 6, a 4 and a 6 makes 46. So I'm gonna write 46. I'm just taking those 2 numbers and putting them together to make 46. But maybe that's not her secret number. Maybe the 4 didn't go first. Maybe the 6 went first. So if we put the 6 first and then the 4, a 6 and a 4 make, you got it, 64. So I'm gonna write a 6 and a 4. We're not done yet. It says write the 2 possible numbers. Say we did that. Now it says Maureen said the number, her secret number, is between 48 and 70. Circle Maureen's secret number. Okay, it's between 48 and 70. 48. Could it be 46? Does 46 go in the middle of 48 and 70? 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. Did I say 46? No. 46 is smaller than 48. So it can't be 46. 64. Did I say 64? Does 64 go in between 48 and 70? 40, 50, 60, 70. Yes, I said 64. 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. So I need to circle 64. That is Maureen's secret.